On this day in history, January 26, 1837, Michigan is admitted as the 26th state to the United States. Included in the following is an excerpt from the 1944 edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, going over the development of the Michigan Territory. Up to this time, the territory had still remained, for the most part, a wilderness in which the fur trade reaped the largest profits, its few small settlements being confined to the borders, and the inaccurate reports of the surveyors sent out by the United States government described the interior as a vast swamp with only here and there a little land fit for cultivation. The large number of hostile Indians was also a factor in making the territory unattractive, but during the efficient administration of Lewis Cass, governor of the territory from 1813 to 1831, the interference of the British was checked and many of the Indians were removed to the west of the Mississippi. Printing presses established during the same period at Detroit, Ann Arbor, Monroe, and Pontiac became largely instrumental in making the country better known. The first steamboat, the Walk in the Water, appeared at Detroit in 1818. The Erie Canal was opened in 1825. By 1830, a daily boat line was running between Detroit and Buffalo, and the population of Michigan, which was only 4,762 in 1810 and 8,896 in 1820, increased to 31,639 in 1830 and 212,267 in 1840. In 1819, the territory had been empowered to send a delegate to Congress. By 1832, the question of admission into the Union had arisen, and in 1835 a convention was called in Detroit. A constitution was framed in May, which was adopted by popular vote in October. State officers were elected, and application for admission was made. But a dispute with Ohio over the boundary between the two caused a delay in the admission of Michigan into the Union as a state until January 26, 1837. Although it was dominated almost continuously during the first 2 decades by the Democrats, Michigan in 1855 was the first state to give the Republicans a triumph at the polls. The Republicans continued to hold the state until 1932, with but 3 interruptions at times of national agrarian revolt. The rise of the automobile industry during the 20th century transformed the erstwhile farmer state into one dominated by the prosperous industry, a fact which made Michigan a focal point for suffering in the years following 1929. The closing of leading Detroit banks precipitated the national banking crisis of 1933. Unemployment and discontent helped in 1932 to give the state to the Democrats. Yet the political effect of improving business in 1934 was to restore the Republicans to control. During the campaign of 1936, Michigan commonly was regarded as doubtful, but it gave Roosevelt a strong majority and chose a Democratic governor. A Republican governor was elected in 1938. In 1940, Wilkie won the state by a slight majority, although a Democrat governor was elected.